everybody? Anthony Romeo here again. This is WiseUp. Listen, folks, if you haven't checked out our podcast yet, what the hell are you waiting for? It's the revolution. No, guys and girls, whatever your preference is, whatever it is you do, whatever industry you're in, what we're talking about on WiseUp affects your job, your school, your everyday life, I assure you. It's the stuff behind the walls, above the ceilings, below the floors, running the data centers, the colo spaces, things like that we pay no mind to in everyday lives. We're going to the grocery store and transactions through POS machines and things like that. It's so critical, so crucial that we understand how all these things work and what are the features and benefits of some of these products and manufacturers that are bringing to the table, or service providers. So here on WiseUp, I'm Anthony Romeo. This is streaming on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, or however you stream. We're now streaming over in 20 different countries. So thank you for our listeners. iTunes got us at 5 stars. If we can get higher, please comment. Feel free to share. Check us out on LinkedIn and wisecomponents.com, wisecomponents.com. We are a reliable, trusted service distribution partner of various quality solutions, such as APC Schneider, APC Schneider Electric. Today I'm joined by Seamus Fennelly, and he is here with us all the way from Rhode Island, So Seamus, your role is channel manager in the New York City metro area, right? I got my background behind me. That's in, I'm in my pod, so I'm not in New York City today, but I am talking to Seamus, and he's focused on the New York City metro area and providing people quality products by APC Schneider Electric. Now, Seamus, we were talking multiple times on different things that your company's doing a little differently than some others out there. Everybody could say, I have this, I have that. Yeah, I got that flavor, get it. But what are some of the key components that you're coming across, or key industries that you're seeing where you're adding value, significant, either whether it be, saving time and or money? So talk to us a little bit about your role at APC and what it is that excites you and gets you out of bed other than a paycheck.
No, I appreciate that, Anthony. That's a really nice introduction. Yeah, I mean, just to start off a little bit about myself and my background, I've been with APC now for the better half of 4 years. APC's, we were actually headquartered out of West Kingston, Rhode Island, and they really did a fantastic job of, the true sales mentality. You start basically boots on the ground, call center, move up through there to, a channel sales role, and then through other portions of the company, and APC is a very channel-centric company through and through, and I've always had a extremely soft spot for working with channel partners. I just thoroughly enjoy it. I think that, the motivation that gets me going is really trying to drive and help partners understand new offerings and being, a constituent to them, really trying to help them drive the value behind our product set and seeing them succeed. I mean, that's what makes me happy, is making sure that partners are coached up and we can deliver a product that makes sense to the customer and also drives a value add from a partner perspective too. I mean, it's an awesome time to be in the industry. And I really, that's what drives me, making sure that everyone gets the right solution.
So speaking about the industry, and as I point out, whether it be you're working in a data center or you're working in an office, a school, whatever, I can almost assure you that you have an APC product or something that's, tries to be an APC product out there. It's so often that, people are now, with everything that's going on around us with COVID, there is some hybrid solutions of the working from home, like myself, or working in the office, a mixture of both. Staying connected, staying online is so critical. So it's so important that we still stay productive, because there is still work to be done. And regardless of where you sit or what industry you serve, APC has a product set solution. So Seamus, tell me a little bit about, your lithium ion solutions and battery backups and PDUs. There's a lot thrown at the table, but kind of hone in on one of the solutions there and take it from there where it is applicable into either the home office or the enterprise space for even.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Anthony, because I'll start off first with the home office space. I mean, when you think about, especially when COVID first hit, everyone moves to a hybrid transition where everyone's working from home. And the biggest thing is we want to make sure that no one's disconnected at any time. So when you think about even the smallest solutions that we offer, right, the home consumer backup line. So we have products that basically sit right underneath my desk. We have the power strips. I mean, I keep a power UPS, a little home office one right under my desk when I work.
As do I.
Sure. Yeah, and it's good too, because when you think about it, I mean, you connect your Wi-Fi, your Ethernet to there, everything's connected. So, I mean, I've had situations here in Newport, Rhode Island where, I've gone down for an hour and I'm still able to work productively just because of a UPS that's under my desk. And people don't think about it until it happens, right? That's the biggest thing about our industry is there's, no news is good news on our end, but when there's a problem, everyone comes running. So from a home consumer perspective, I mean, the home office UPS, they're clutch to say the least. And then when you think about power strips and PDUs, those are also good as well. But the UPSs are obviously the cream of the crop from that angle. But when you talk about moving outside of the home office space, I mean, lithium ion solutions, I mean, we're providing double the amount of runtime or the amount of battery life that you'd see from a lead acid UPS. So it's hit the industry and we have just been running with it full-fledged from tons of different verticals. So there's numerous different places where we have a play in that space.
Oh, and folks, just so you know, in the show notes, we'll put links that you could see some of the information that we're going to be discussing on today's episode. So do check us out. And again, this can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, and we will also give you the YouTube link in the show notes. So thanks again for listening in. Seamus, what are some of the data center, because that's something that's been on a real tizzy right now because of the amount of streaming services, the amount of at-home working that's going on. I mean, every company I talk to, they're saying that they're adding switchgear. Where do you fit into that hierarchy there?
Yeah, so really from our perspective, and I mentioned this before, Anthony, when we obviously still have a tremendous play in the data center space, right? When we're talking about larger three-phase centralized units, rack mount PDUs, enclosures, right? I mean, obviously, if there's more going in the data center, there's going to be more power that's going to be needed to support that, whether it be lithium ion three-phase solutions, the lead acid solutions, cooling, monitoring, all of that. I mean, we really have a strong play in that space. But, on the flip side too, with some of my focuses, what we're seeing when we talk about some of those solutions outside of the data center as well, there's so much compute that's coming from the customer site through the data center. And we're seeing a transition to smaller edge applications as well outside of the data center.
I was just going to say that to you. That was my next question.
Right.
This is the Seamus Fennelly show, folks. You're listening to Seamus, and he's going to ask his own questions. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just one step ahead. I'm thinking about, and it's funny that you noticed that too. I mean, the trend's happening, and we're seeing some interesting things happening. But no, I mean, really from the data center space, it's still very strong, and we find a way to play into that space very well.
Yeah. So regarding, you said edge computing, I mean, whether it be the autonomous vehicles that we're seeing on the road, dribs and drabs, but there's still autonomous features in some of the newer cars. We're seeing that some grocery chains, they too have needs for this because of latency, POS, and other things. Automation, the amount of automation that's coming about, to the hybrid style solutions of work, mitigating the amount of people in a space. So now being, replaced with more automation. People were hesitant before, but now in the world that we live, they're like, yeah, maybe we spend a couple of bucks now and we go with the robotics and automation in our facility. So how does it all run? How does it all work? And how do you ensure that it's going to not have any latency issues? So hence where the edge solutions come. So what are some of the solutions that APC Schneider is offering from a micro or what's it called? Is it EcoStruxure? EcoStruxure. There we go.
EcoStruxure. Yeah. Okay. So it all really, it's a really good question, Anthony. And this is what gets me also very excited about working for a company that has a vision for where the industry is going. And even from the 4 years that I've been here over the past couple of years, the transitions you see are insane, and I'm learning a lot. But the one big thing, obviously, to your point is, with edge computing, when you mentioned this before, but autonomous cars, for example, right? So when you're driving a car down the road, whether it be a Tesla, anything else, right? And that information needs to be transferred from data center back to the, actual car, right? And so again, the latency, no downtime, we can't have anything like that happening. So we take smaller applications. We're seeing compute move closer to the customer, the actual end site of where that's going. And with APC, we play tremendously into that space because we want to make something that's easy to deploy and get out to the customer fast. So you talk about enclosures, right? Smaller wall mount enclosures that can be easily racked, short def lithium ion solutions. So when we talk about 1500 VA, smaller rack mount units, that's a huge play because at the end of the day, we want it to make it easy to deploy a lighter unit, a lighter enclosure, because we want these simple. And when you think about it too, when we talk about edge, it's not like there's going to be a facilities manager on site for these edge locations. It's just not realistic. So it needs to be easy to understand and easy to access, without creating complications for someone. Because sometimes it can be a janitor. We got to make sure that it's simple and easy to understand and to deploy. Most importantly, So that's the biggest thing.
Now, Seamus, some of these units, are they able to be remotely managed?
Yes. So, and it's funny too, Anthony, because this is a space I became very interested in from a partner perspective too, because when you think about the manageability, right? No one in the past, let's say 2-3 years ago, was thinking about managing power remotely. It's a tough thing to talk about because when you think about our partners who work in a managed services space, right? Probably weren't thinking about power monitoring until recently. And that's the biggest thing that we're able to do now is you can remotely monitor and manage these UPSs. And again, it goes back to the edge applications. These things can be placed all over the country, all over the world, and customers and partners can view that on one single pane without having to worry about, again, goes back to the point. No one likes to deal with a UPS battery that fails unexpectedly. That's just a fact. So we're trying to completely eliminate that so there's no gotcha moments. So EcoStruxure it's a great tool, whether it be end users that are using it, partners that are using it who want to monitor for the customer. It's just a really awesome way to stay on top of the infrastructure, really.
Well, you bring up a good point. You raise a couple of good points on from a liability standpoint with latency and autonomous vehicles. If you need to make a left turn or stop instantaneously, there should be no hesitation. God forbid you kill somebody, then who's at fault here? But also, you're talking about remote, monitoring that you're able to see if there's anything that is going awry. From a security standpoint, I would think that that's also helpful because you could see if there's, foul play at hand. Somebody was trying to damage or steal. Because these things are rolling on wheels,
Exactly.
You want to have them like a low jack on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So and it plays into what we were saying before because when we started off the call, it's so many different industries, whether it be retail and your e-commerce, whether it be your financial institutions, healthcare. A general education, from K through 12 or higher ed. They all have a need for what you're talking about today. So, I would think that, dealing with reputable, reliable distribution channel partners such as Wise Components would be helpful. Just throwing that out there.
No, I know we've been working a lot with you guys. So
yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, so we're happy to assist, but I would say anybody, if you go to their if folks are listening, if you go to apc.com in the U.S. And across their large footprint, they have an extensive list of products and solutions that would definitely fit your needs, and also a partner alliance that can fit within what you need, who you're dealing with. We are very fortunate to have the relationship with such a premier line, and we like working with you and your team. From a services standpoint, what could you and your company offer somebody in either in the data center space or the enterprise space?
So from a services perspective, really what we want to do is when we're talking about either data center, enterprise data center space, is make sure that there's always, again, visibility into the infrastructure, whether it be if the customer wanted to monitor themselves or if APC
Right.
wanted to monitor. Now, the great thing about, again, goes back to our services portfolio, is we offer solutions such as monitoring and dispatch, where we never really had something available to the market like this before, where if something goes awry with the UPS, field service engineers from Schneider Electric will go out, whether it be, again, larger centralized three-phase units, lithium ion, Symetra PX units, cooling units, right? We have them dispatched out to the site of the customer, make sure that there's no gotcha moments from that perspective as well. So whether it be preventative maintenance checks on the UPSs or monitoring the unit and making sure that we're switching out power modules when you need to. And that's, it's not just limited to the three-phase product line, but also pain point as well, smaller single-phase products, so it can be either or, but really providing a full suite to make sure that the customer is covered from whether it be data center, enterprise, edge, anywhere.
Yeah, no, it gives your customer some reassurance and peace of mind as working with quality, reputable companies like APC, Schneider Electric, and having that. I would say, folks, those again who are listening, talking with Seamus Fennelly from APC, Schneider Electric, and Schneider Electric, or APC rather, APC Schneider Electric, because it's a mouthful. What is your footprint? Not you per se, but the company. How large of a footprint does your company support?
It's very, very extensive, Anthony, because when you think about APC, I mean, we are a portion of what the Schneider Electric umbrella is,
Right.
but the main message is we believe basically that energy and sustainable energy is a human right. So whether that be the physical infrastructure, we call it the secure power division with APC, whether it be Square D, whether it be the buildings division, whether it be solar. So we touch so many different verticals and markets in our space, and it's such a fantastic company because our initiatives go way past what we just do, and we focus on everything from energy consumption, the switchgear, all that fits into a larger picture, And then when you start thinking about working with customers more about the portfolio that we can provide, it's nice to know that we touch so many different verticals and different customers based off our whole entire product set.
And so many people are talking to me lately about sustainability, flexibility. It's not just about, the flow of traffic in the office or a hybrid way. It's, greenfield initiatives, things that are, coming, whether it be in New York City, which, local law 97 is came into effect in November of 2019. And for those of you who are not aware of Local Law 97, Local Law 97 is to reduce emissions throughout 50,000 plus buildings throughout New York City. So again, if you're looking to reduce your emissions and understand what devices you're using, you could contact APC on that, because they definitely have some solutions that would help with that. You could elaborate on that, feel free, or we could just put it in the show notes and call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Anthony, too, Local Law 97 is big because whether you look at, so EcoStruxure, again, from an energy management perspective, is really, really nice because it blends into every portfolio what we offer at Schneider. So EcoStruxure IT for secure power division for APC, that ties in the buildings. And then when you talk about buildings automation, in making sure that the entire building is running efficiently, that's where we give our customers a really good idea what the power consumption is going to be in that building to make sure that we have a full breadth of understanding of what's going on, really. So it's it's a fantastic solution that's going to, like you said, local law 97 has a big effect with as well.
Yeah, no, it's actually helped the conversation of what I do for a living a little bit more interesting, because, you know, dealing with layer one infrastructure solutions is not too much of interest at a dinner party, if there was ever a dinner party again. So it's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a distribution of layer one infrastructure.
Right.
And, you know, get the, you know, blank stares and go over everybody's head. So you're a teacher. Great.
Try to explain what a UPS is with someone asking, oh, is it a generator? That's the biggest thing for us.
So I started a podcast. So I could say I host a podcast, and they go, oh, that's great. So
okay, you do that.
Right. But really, truly, what we're trying to do is, you know, as we've done in years past, and since 1975, us at Wise Components and many other companies out there, we're trying to provide quality solutions, educate people on features and benefits. And now we have this platform, right? WiseUp. And WiseUp is coming to everybody out there. And I think it's streaming now in 20 different countries. And, you know, we're thankful for the listeners and subscribers that continue to listen and comment. And, you know, we're expanding upon the manufacturers like yourself who we're talking to, as well as solution providers, as I like to refer to them as, because everybody could sell a product. You know, it's about providing the square peg and square hole. Is what the analogy I like to say, because it makes all the difference when you have that trusted partner, the trusted advisor, somebody that's has walked in those shoes before or experienced those pain points and understand what you're going through. So dealing and highlighting with, you know, like people like yourself, Seamus, and companies, and dealing with companies with quality solutions like APC, Schneider Electric, it is really good to have in our arsenal at Wise Components. So if somebody wanted to reach Seamus besides smoke signals, I'm take it that you're open to LinkedIn invitations for people that are interested in APC, Schneider Electric products.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
I mean, you guys can just find me on LinkedIn, first name, last name.
I'll put them in the show notes, so you'll see where you could you'll link right to Seamus's page, and you'll see his pretty picture and click with him, say, hey, I heard your WiseUp podcast. I thought it was great. If you want to learn more about APC, Schneider Electric, you can go right to apc.com. I believe that is the true URL. I'm just going to double check. It's apc.com/US, and that will bring you to wherever you are in the country. And outside of that, you just put apc.com. Are there any upcoming virtual events or physical events that APC has on the horizon that you're aware of that you might be able to share with us today?
Yeah, so as of right now, nothing's been in person. It's a little bit difficult as of right now, but the one big thing that I would highly recommend is we have a virtual briefing room out in St. Louis, Missouri, where what we do is and this is great too, Anthony, for everyone that's listening, if you ever wanted a great virtual experience of what the product set, the most up-to-date current product set that we have is, the Innovation Briefing Center that we offer in St. Louis is great because we can schedule that at any time, and it's customized and tailored to what market and what space you want to see our products fit into. So if you want to see centralized three-phase units, it's a live virtual meeting where you can go in.
Fantastic.
You can interact with you know, the reps that are out there and say, hey, this is the product line I want to see. You know,
if somebody wanted to schedule that, would they reach out to you directly, or is that another way that we could, you know, set up in the show notes and we'll put that in?
Yes, reach out to me directly, and then we can just schedule the meeting. Really, it's very, very simple, and we've gotten tremendous feedback. It's been around now for better half of two years now.
Okay.
It's a really good way, and if you want to engage if customers want to engage, if partners want to engage, there's different breadths of it, so you can really get.
And if somebody's in the St. Louis, Missouri center there, they could eat St. Louis barbecue in front of the person that's watching the virtual.
They could eat pit barbecue. They could do whatever they want. Just sit in front of the virtual meeting. Yep.
But again, I'm Anthony Romeo. For those of you listening, we greatly appreciate it here on WiseUp. WiseUp is a podcast of Wise Components. Wise Components is a distribution of layer one infrastructure solutions. Been around since 1975. Do check us out at www.wisecomponents.com. Quality Solutions. Again, we're with Seamus Fennelly with APC Schneider Electric, talking to us about the solutions that he can provide in all the different verticals. And again, check out the show notes. Leave your comments. If you tell me to shut up, I'll find you. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you again, Seamus, for taking this time. We definitely are off to a good start of a crazy year. And I think there's more to come with all the things on the horizon, despite the craziness. So thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today and learn more about APC. And again, folks, check out the show notes. We're going to put a ton of information there for you to link with Seamus from his LinkedIn page to APC virtualization tour and learn more about the things that we spoke about today. So thanks, everybody, again. This is WiseUp, Anthony Romeo. See you soon.
Pleasure. Thank you, Anthony.